You know what time it is, Meredith?
What time is it, Greg?
It's time for the Chains of America! Today we're going to P.F. Chang's, the good stuff. It sent me to the toilet, actually. I don't ever want to eat at P.F. Chang's again, but the drinks were surprisingly good. We went to P.F. Chang's, and the food was it was all right. Honestly, I have strong memories of P.F. Chang's being really good, and I don't know. I think I haven't been in like 15 years. I think they might have changed the menu or something. It wasn't great. I mean, like, it made me ill. I don't, you know, not like on the spot, but like 15 minutes later, I was not feeling so good. Certainly by chain restaurant standards, the drinks were phenomenal, actually. I was a little bit blown away, and I'm not really sure what to do about it now. I have a couple of ideas, but we ordered 2 drinks off of their signature drink menu. Meredith knows. What did we order, Meredith?
The Kyoto Bloom and a Lucky Lotus.
So let's just open the one that was on my left. And here we go with, so this was the Kyoto Bloom, and it originally had a lot of ice in it, and there was a strawberry perched on the ledge there, and some mint, I think. And it was quite good. It tastes like fresh strawberries, damn it. It really does. There's a little bit more going on there. It's like a strawberry sour to your mouth. It's a long drink, though. I would say it's kind of a Collins. I strained this off the ice into the Yeti, and unfortunately, it's been a long time setting up this, so it's sat in there a little longer than I wanted to. Still pretty cold. Those things are impressive, but is there maybe lychee in that, actually?
Do you want the ingredients?
Yeah, what do you got? What's in it?
All right, so Japanese gin, yuzu sake, which is probably...
Yuzu sake? Yeah, well, yuzu is more citrus, though.
Okay. Saint Germain elderflower liqueur.
That plus yuzu could be a little, maybe lychee.
Yuzu, not yuzu, yeah. Strawberry, lime, club soda.
Strawberry, lime. I said it was a strawberry sour and club soda. Now, here's the problem. I don't know nothing about sake. I know nothing about it. Nothing. Except that it is made from rice and that it exists. We picked up some sake to try and match at least the kinds of sake that they were using. People have been asking me about mixing with sake for a long time, and I've never really gotten around to it. There's not a lot of cocktails that call for it. I feel a little bit weird inventing cocktails that call for it because I don't know a lot about sake, and it's a big deep dive, and I really would have to drink a lot of sake to really know what I'm doing with it. In addition to that, it's lower proof, right? I think that there's a perception that sake is really high proof because it's clear and you associate that with like vodka or something, right? But it's 14.8%, so that's like 28 proof. It's a proofy wine is what it really is. This is really tasty. I think that what I can do is come up with like an at-home version using the ingredients I have here, and that maybe I can freshen it up a little bit. I gotta think about what my goal is with this drink. Maybe while I'm thinking about that, we should actually just get the other one out of its tin and taste that too. And this is this is called a Lucky Lotus, and it was a creamy drink. That is good. Man, that's good. Which is funny because it's got coconut rum in it. Not Malibu. I think they listed it. What was it? It was
Rum Haven.
Rum Haven coconut rum. Feels like coconut in your mouth, which I find really impressive. Like, it has a almost pulp to it, which I think is mostly coming from the cream. There was a heavy cream in it. And I will say this. The thing that we got right out of the bar was ugly. It was not visually appealing. It looked like it had like curdled milk in it. If you stirred it up, you know, that fixed it. And I've shaken this one now in the Yeti. I don't really like coconut rum in a lot of drinks. I was shocked by how good this was. I have a theory about what this drink was trying to be. I'm going to sample it again. It wants to be a variation on a Ramos Gin Fizz. Turning this into a fizz is the very clear move. Like, that's what you got to do, and I'm going to try to with this one. Right after this, we're finally going to get to making some drinks. So stay with us. As a sophisticated man of the world, I really don't have time to find my own wine. That's why I use bright cellars. I often find the crushing responsibility of having to purchase my own wine to be just too much for myself. That's why I allow bright cellars to be my own personal wine steward. They have some kind of a computer. I don't know how such things work. I answer questions on the computer, 7 simple questions. It selects wines on my behalf, and frankly, they're quite good. It's so simple, even someone like you can do it. You know, because they have these wonderful cards that share with you all kinds of wine information. We could make a portmanteau of it, wine-formation, if you so choose. And also, the wines, which come in a 6-bottle box. Look at the wines. Has my voice shifted through the course of this advertisement? One of the great things about Bright Cellars wine is that it's all guaranteed. You know, if you don't like any wine, send it back. Meredith, could I interest you in sharing a wine with a sophisticated man such as myself?
anytime.
Cheers, Meredith. Ha ha! This wine is called Crypsis. Equally spicy and jammy, this wine shows notes of boysenberry, black raspberry, and blackberry preserves with fresh cracked black pepper. Round texture, powerful tannins. So one of the things I love about Bright Cellars, my voice keeps changing in this episode, I'm sure of it. Friends, if you want to try to be as sophisticated as I am, Bright Cellars is giving my followers a limited time offer of 50% off their first 6-bottle box. Click the link in the description to get started. I'm back, and we just had a conversation that you missed about what is the game plan here? What is my objective? I think the goal is to take the idea, the basic idea of a strawberry sake type drink and a coconut sake drink and do what I would serve at PF Chang's. Greg, I don't know, I was trying to come up with like my own name for PF Chang's and I just kind of ran out of gas. You're just gonna have to assume I had a good joke in there, but I didn't. I'm just gonna slice this up to help it along. It's probably not necessary. One strawberry, about one big strawberry, one little bitty strawberry. I gotta leave something for a garnish here. So we're gonna throw some strawberries in there, and that's like, you know, one big, one little strawberry, slice them up. I'm skipping the dry sake. I really don't think you're gonna detect it. I swear to you, I think that they included it just so they could say there was sake in it and they could serve it at PF Chang's. I really do, as a signature drink. I really don't think it brings anything to the drink. They used the yuzu sake. Maybe that brought something to the drink, and I don't have the yuzu sake, so maybe we should throw a little lemon and maybe some grapefruit bitters in there. Not craziest idea. I'm gonna throw 2 ounces of gin in, and we're using Monkey 47. So sometimes you see me doing these, like I'm riffing on drinks and I'm mixing ingredients really slowly and tasting them with a spoon to see how we're going, and I adjust and I adjust and I adjust. This already kind of follows a format, so I don't feel like I need to do that. I think we can just do a first move, and we'll do some lemons. Just gonna slice my lemon up. Yeah. I'm gonna start with a ½ ounce, and then I will taste that when it's all put in there, and maybe I'll add another ½ ounce. This is a little bit more delicate. Let's go with the sweeter plum wine. I'm gonna go with a ½ ounce again. So now I've got 2 ounces of gin, ½ ounce of lemon, ½ ounce of plum wine, and some strawberries, which are gonna get pulverized and muddled by ice in a few minutes. But in my brain now, I've got to remember that the strawberries aren't really affecting the flavor yet. That needs sweetness, no question. And I'm not gonna get enough of it from the plum wine. Let's start with a ½ ounce, always 2 to 1 on simple syrup. So let's just mix that in a little bit and see if that gets us where I want to be. Yeah, I think it does. I think when we shake the strawberries, that does it. That rounded off the lemon. If you're adding acid, you do want to add sweetness to balance it, unless you want something that's very acidic. I wouldn't even say tart. I feel like tartness or sourness is the interplay of sugar and acid. If it's just acid, it's just acid. It's not a sour. I'm gonna do 1 large cube, and the other one I'm gonna crack. And I don't always explain why I do this, but today I will. Occasionally I do. Dave Arnold did a big study about what is perfect ice. He thought that this idea that there was good ice and bad ice was hokum. And then he did like 20 shakes of one drink, maybe it was a sour, and he found that by using 1 heavy dense cube and then a bunch of smaller kind of agitator dilution cubes, that he got the most awesome drink. And so that's what I do. Get that in there. Woo. Before I pour this, I'm gonna give it a little bar spoon. Oh yeah, I think that's quite nice. So we're gonna put our spear of ice in there. I'm going to double strain this because there's a lot of pulp. So there's not a lot of room in there right now. And you might be thinking, how much seltzer is that? How much is that gonna do? And you're not wrong. It might be better to just carbonate the whole thing. But if you have your own carbonator, you can make a carbonated water that has a lot more CO2 in it than is maybe even safe by getting your water really cold and carbonating it again and again and again and again. In just an ounce pour, it will add some fizziness to this drink. You can see how little that took because it was already super duper carbonated. Okay, here we go, a little seltzer. It will rapidly lose its fizz, and that's because there's strawberry pulp in there. Anytime you have fruit pulp, it's not gonna stay that fizzy. These are not my favorite straws. I can't see if they're contaminated with spiders. A lot of spiders here in the How to Drink bar. Let's see how this, I don't know what to call it, Plum Wine Strawberry Collins came out. Oh, I love that. That's so much fun. It's super duper cool. It's super cool. It has an evolution. It's tart and sweet and strawberryish, not overpowering, all 3 in balance. It is fizzy, and then it takes this turn into a cherry and rose profile. Not detectable rose, and you know, it's a synthesis of flavors. There's no rose in any of these ingredients on their own, but when you put them together, the strawberry, the sweet, the sour, and the cherry, it kind of somehow gets to a place where it tastes like rose petals or that smell of roses without being like potpourri, without being overpowering. I fucking love this drink. I did not hate the one from P.F. Chang's, and I said before, I'm gonna say it again, P.F. Chang's had the best cocktails of any that we have sampled at these chain restaurants. The food caused a bathroom emergency. Anyway, this drink is fantastic. I'll say this. No, there it is. A little bit, yeah. At the front, the gin's not coming through very strong. It comes through from the middle into the back end, but in a subtle way. I taste it. I don't know if everybody would. That's good. I didn't want to lose the gin, but I definitely didn't want it to overpower the drink. I don't think it overpowers the drink. Hot dog. We made a good one. Honestly, no improvements, no notes, no variations. I mean, you could do variation on it, but I can't. I'm so happy when these work out so good. A lot of people ask me, when are you going to make classic cocktail content? When are you going to get back to making cocktails you like? I hope you're watching the Chains of America series, because that's it. This is good. This is how to make cocktails. This isn't tasting bad things. This is fun. Whoops. Maybe I am a little drunk. I don't know. All right, I'm going to spend a little bit more time with this, and we'll be right back. I'm going to make a coconut sake cocktail of some kind. All right, I'm back. I love the texture of this coconut drink. I am so pleased with it. Whoever designed this cocktail for P.F. Chang's, man, kudos to you, because you killed it. You somehow made a drink that they felt they could afford to serve in a chain environment, and they kick ass. They're so good. I want to make it into a fizz. A fizz doesn't have ice in it, and it has ideally a really cool, like, thick, creamy head. It's got a texture to it. I don't know how you get that texture without it being a fizz. They did. I know it didn't have egg whites or eggs in it, because like they're squeamish about that kind of thing. It did have heavy cream or some kind of milk in it. Their only spirit was this coconut rum. To me, that's like a mark of an inferior drink. You know, I think that the one thing I would do is I'd like to proof it up into like real cocktail territory. What kind of rums we got back there, man? Okay. I love the idea of doing this with cachaça, which is a kind of rum. I'm sorry, it just is. What I worry is that like the qualities of cachaça, of Nova Fogo specifically, that I love, might get lost in this drink. I don't know about that. Hamilton 87, is this an overproof? I don't believe it is. No, it's not really an overproof. It's a big sip. That's good rum. Ooh, what a nice, it's like a buttery finish. I love that. This is Don Q. So this has almost no character by comparison. It's a fine, neutral rum, but these guys have character. I'm really glad Meredith suggested these other ones, because I think that's going to be much more fun. I think that's going to be much more interesting.
Are you going to put the sake in this one?
Yeah. This might help the texture. The pearl. Maybe we'll do that. Yeah, this might actually go well with the rum. We want to make a kind of a sour here. So I'm going to start by cutting a lime. I know I'm going to need some lime juice. And I'm going to cut this lemon. I'm going to need probably the juice of both. I want a half an ounce of lemon. Now I want a half, where is this? It's got very Long Island there. Now I want a half an ounce of lime. My region neutral dialect failed me. And we're gonna pour that into the shaker. Let's get the pearl creamy sake in there. Let's do 3/4 of an ounce of this, because I think that it is going to be easy to overpower, so I don't want to lose it entirely. And if I need more, I will add more. Right now, I'm going to do a spoon with it. I don't think I'm not going to taste it at all, because it's just in there. Nothing but lemon and lime. To make it come forward, we're going to have to add some simple. Maybe I taste it a little bit. I'm going to start with a half an ounce of simple, and then maybe go up from there. Half an ounce of this Malibu now. I do wish it was like a better coconut rum, but honestly, this is going to do the trick. So, okay, half an ounce of that. Let's taste along and see how we're doing. I'm going to do another 1/4 ounce, just a tiny bit more. And that will put our sake and our Malibu into equal measures, right? So we have a half an ounce of lemon and a half an ounce of lime, so an ounce of lemon and lime. And then we have 3/4 of an ounce of our pearl sake and 3/4 of an ounce of the Malibu. I don't know why I keep calling them our. I suppose I'm feeling in a communitarian kind of way. It's not the Malibu, it's our Malibu. Now we're gonna add our base spirit. Now both of these are very potent in terms of flavor. Nova Fogo has, I love Nova, oh my God. Oh my God, I just want to have a fucking caipirinha so bad. I love Nova Fogo. I kind of think it's the wrong thing here. I think this is the way to go. To my way of thinking, there are 2 pours for your base spirit to be a base spirit. There's the 1.5 and the 2. I'm gonna start with a 1.5. Anything less than that, I can't quite explain it. I have like a philosophical opposition to it. I want this to be a rum drink, but I'm gonna start with 1.5 and see how that balances. And then from there, if we need another ½ an ounce, we'll try it. All right, let's see where we're at. Not very coconutty. Not very coconutty. I want it to be more coconutty. I'm gonna do another ½ an ounce of the Malibu. That should get us where I wanna be. I am anticipating where this drink is gonna wind up when I add heavy cream and an egg white and seltzer. And now I need the egg white going in. I need 1 ounce of heavy cream. And now I need to take my tall shaker with a spring in it. Shake the living hell out of it. Cool, now I'm gonna add ice. And I am gonna leave my sprink in there. One big. Frothy. I'm gonna get my chilled glass. I should mention that I think that for this particular drink, chilling your glassware is really important. You should really always chill your glassware. Here on HTD, I usually don't because I have a setup that makes it kind of hard. For a fizz, you really, really should. I'm going to strain away here. No ice in the glass for a fizz. This seltzer is already super gassy, but I'm gonna gas it even harder. Sneak my seltzer down a bit. Kind of coming out from the center. And over the side it goes. I like it a lot. It doesn't quite achieve the texture that the one at P.F. Chang's had that I like so much. I think that the other drink I made in this episode was the better drink of the episode. This does have all the flavors in it. You get the lemon and the lime, that interplay. The thing is that you lengthen it with seltzer. So it is silky and it is creamy, but it's not heavy, it's light. You do get some of the little bit of funk that's in the Hamilton 87 and plenty of coconut without the coconut, the Malibu, really taking over this drink. I think the balance is spot on, not a very long evolution, and it is a good drink. No one I don't think is innocent in this matter. Meredith picked up 3 bottles of sake or 4?
4.
You picked up 4, and then I remembered that I had some stuff that isn't sake, plum wine, that I picked up for an episode that I never shot. So I think the thing to do is we gotta figure out what we've got going on here as far as ingredients, because I've never even opened these, I haven't sampled them.
So my strategy was I got 3 different sakes that are the same brand, but 3 different kinds of sake. I thought that might help us get a benchmark of what we're working with.
Yeah, sure. The other 2 things I have are some plum wine. And I bought 2 plum wines that seems to be kind of different ends of the spectrum, and I bought them, I don't know, like 2 years ago. And we're gonna try these too, because I don't know, why not? This one has somebody's plums in it. And I don't know how I feel about that, in the plums. When I bought the plum wine, I also bought, this is a sake I bought, and I think this is probably the best one. It says it right here, it's the finest sake, so I don't think you can argue with that. Oh man, I'm gonna butcher this. Gekkeikan, I think is probably pretty close. It's brewed in the USA.
That sake was $9.
This one?
No, that one.
Oh yeah, this isn't the finest sake. This is the $9 sake. Good call, Mare. Nice. Some real bottom shelf shit. It's also made in the USA, so let's start with my $9 sake. How much were your sakes?
Those ones were like 17 or 18.
Those are nice. Those are double the sake. Nice. All right, $9 sake. Here we go. Gekkeikan. Is this the right glass for sake? No, but it is a glass. It won't leak out, so that's the main thing. All right, Gekkeikan. I can't pronounce it. I'm so sorry. That's a pungent aroma. That actually kind of, it kind of reminds me, unfortunately, of my great enemy, Baijiu. But Baijiu is way higher proof. Everybody has that thing they drank too much of when they were young, and now when they smell it, they feel sick. Any amount of Kinmen Baijiu is too much. And now when I smell it, it's like I've got PTSD. Like it really brings back some horrifying memories. It is not for me. So bottoms up, here we go. Thank my lucky stars. It does not taste like Kinmen Baijiu, it just smells like it. It doesn't really taste like much. It kind of reminds me of a very mild dry vermouth. It's not my favorite thing, but it's definitely, I could see liking that, somebody liking that quite a bit. Like those 2 drinks that we made don't have anything in them that would be like a dry vermouth. And now there is a part of me that's wondering if they don't just like have some sake in them so that they can say there's some sake in them, which wouldn't entirely surprise me. We're gonna start on the left here. I'm gonna pour Momokawa, and I'm I hope my pronunciation is like okay, not like wrong and offensive. I apologize if it is. Junmai Ginjo Craft Sake. This is the medium dry sake. This is silver dry crisp sake. And then this is a creamy nigori style sake. And honestly, that's probably the most interesting of the three to my mind. Let's start with the diamond, which is medium dry. Yeah, it's very mild. I get a little hint of apple. I don't want to say that it's almost like water, but it doesn't taste all that different from like slightly flavored water to me. I know that there are probably much more full-bodied sakes out there. I guess this is not one of them. It is a medium dry. It's kind of malty, I guess, is what I would say. This is the dry crisp sake, the silver. And these are all made in Oregon, by the way. It's all American sake today. Just really fucking it up, guys. I'm sorry. Silver, dry, crisp. I really don't notice that much of a difference. They taste, the medium dry and the dry crisp taste pretty similar. It definitely has that baijiu smell, but it doesn't taste anything like it. It's light, a little malty. Maybe the apples are turned down in this one. The thing is, these two things, those three things, anything that's like in a cocktail, I think they're just gonna get lost, which is why I don't really make drinks with sake. The only thing I could think you could do with this is like, there's a drink called like a bamboo, which is something normally has sherry in it, and they use a sake instead, if I'm not mistaken.
The recipe I pulled up is dry sherry, vermouth, bitters, and an orange twist.
Oh.
Trying to find one with sake in it.
But you know what? I would say that dry sherry is not a bad comparison. I don't really like a dry sherry. I like my sherry a little more sweet than that, honestly. Not all the way to a dessert thing, but like, you know, I like port. But yeah, I think a dry sherry is actually a really apt comparison to these three sakes that I've had. Moving right along, we're gonna look at the Pearl Creamy Nigori Sake. This one better be different. It better have its own thing going on. A little different nose. A little more estery, a little harsher, I would say. It's a little bit more acetone-ish. Not in an unpleasant way, but like if you're comparing it to this, it's a little bit different. A little sharper, let's just say that. A little less baijiu wet dog, which these and the other ones certainly had, although I've learned that that's not much indication of its taste. So here we go. That's sweeter by a long ways. The sweetness brings a lot more character out. I like that a lot better. I have a sweet tooth, but also it just tastes bigger. It has a louder flavor. It's got pulp in it. It's like leaving grains on the side of my glass, which is pretty neat. It's got a citrusy kind of component. I really don't know that I got more to say about this, except that this is the most interesting of the sakes so far. I still think it's gonna get overpowered in just about any cocktail. Like you think about standing that up next to gin, maybe? I guess we gotta try it. I bet if I put any kind of a pour of gin in there. This is just a weird test. I bet now, just that, I bet the sake's gone. I mean, I think that the sake is mellowing the gin in the way that simply diluting it in water would. You taste the gin. And that was the most flavorful sake we had. I don't doubt that there are sakes out there that are much more punchy. These are not them. So maybe we have to revisit sake in another episode. All right, so now I'm gonna try these two plum wines. They just seem related. I don't think that they have any pertinence in this episode. This one is Takara Plum Premium white wine beverage with plum flavors and caramel. Okay. Just so you guys know, Takara Plum is produced under the most rigid quality control. It is extremely popular in bold in Japan, where it originated and has gained many friends throughout the world. Takara Plum is a cool dude. Everybody likes this guy. I don't know what you heard about him. It's a lie. Here we go, Takara Plum. It's one cool dude. There he is. And now we've got Choya. For the love of God, please be imported. Something not made in the USA. Imported! All right, there we go. It's a weird cap, isn't it? Oh, wow, it's like sealed underneath. It's like shampoo. Oh, okay, wow, that's awesome. There's like a pull top up here. Look at this. Ooh, little. Oh, I thought it wasn't gonna spill. I'm a dummy. So I have to assume that means that once you open this, it's gonna start going bad in a hurry. Because I don't know why else you would do that. This has a cinnamon nose. This is like baijiu with cinnamon. God damn, I kind of like that. That's cool. That is very pleasant, actually. It does satisfy my taste buds to the last drop. They're so satisfied, my taste buds. It tastes like a bright, fresh, kind of tangy thing. There's a strong sour cherry note in there. It's way on the sweeter end. I think that's why it has such a big flavor. Okay, cool. Let's try the other one. This one was Takara Plum. Very similar. Tastes like cherries. This is more cherry. I have to say, I like the Choya better, but this is not terrible. It's just that the Choya hits a more neutral, tangy beat in there first. This has a soapy nose, whereas Choya had a really strong cinnamon nose. If Choya is a good example of what plum wine should taste like, I don't think this is a terrible example of it at all. This is a real pleasant surprise that these are so tasty. I don't know if we're gonna use them in this, but it was fun to explore them. Well, wonders never cease. You know, I don't know what to do with this information that we've just uncovered. It just felt, I mean, like the stuff was just sitting around, so I felt like we should do something with it. Well, that's it. We went to P.F. Chang's, sampled 2 of their drinks. I forget the names now. Meredith, what the hell were they called?
Kyoto Bloom.
Kyoto Bloom and Lucky Lotus.
Lucky Lotus.
So we took them. They were both pretty great drinks to begin with, right from a chain restaurant, which is nuts. I tried to put my own little spin on them and ditched the sake in the one because it really didn't do anything, I don't think. The other one I went with the sake. I wonder if the sake's not really doing it any favors. I might remake that again without the sake. Very happy with both of these drinks. I think it was fun. It's always fun to explore that, you know. Anyway, that's the show today. I'm on the social places. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Patreon, TikTok, and Twitch sometimes, very infrequently, but hey, give it a follow. And I hope you enjoyed the show, and if you did like it, why don't you maybe watch another one? And here are 4 of them. Should you like, subscribe, and comment? Of course you should. But if you don't, that's okay. Subscribing would be nice. But here are 4 more episodes of HTD ready for your enjoyment. And I do hope you enjoy it deeply. Satisfy your taste buds to the last drop.